Hello everybody, my name is Dr. Talia Marcheggiani. I'm a mental health and hormone expert. So stress is a big reason why a lot of people come to see me for support in their lifestyle and optimization of their health, especially their mood and mental health. And one of the things that I've come to understand in working with people one-on-one is that stress in life is an inevitability, especially in our society. Work is just one aspect of the stress that influences our lives, but things like loss of loved ones and ending of relationships, pressure from work, monetary struggles, these things in society are inevitabilities. So we're, sooner or later going to be faced with major stressors in our lives, regardless of how well our life is sort of happening right now. So one of the big things in terms of working with people is helping with their resilience to stress, and that means building up resources. So before I meet with a patient, I have them fill out an online intake form, and this is sent to their email, and one of the the intake form goes over what their concerns are, what they're coming in for. It goes through how they're all the areas of their health, their physical health and mental health, and one aspect as well of the chart is something called the Wheel of Balance. And what the Wheel of Balance does is it looks at all of the major pillars that make up somebody's life. And it asks the potential patient or the new patient to assess, to rate on a scale of 1 to 10 how satisfied they are with that area of their life. So, for example, one of the areas is health. And so, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel that your health is managed? How satisfied are you with your level of health? Are you in chronic pain? Do you feel unwell generally? Or do you feel like health is pretty managed despite the fact that you are coming in obviously with a health concern? In another area is relationships, so personal relationships. So some people don't have a significant other, and if that's so, how do you feel about that? Or if you do have a significant other, how satisfying is that relationship? How well do you feel that relationship supports you in your life? And so, there's several reasons for this Wheel of Balance. One is to just get a general understanding of the life of the person I'm going to be working with, and sort of what their what the broad picture is in terms of their life. And another reason is, we know that a lot of these factors, right, relationship and health and career and money, and whether you have hobbies, whether you have something that fills you, something that gives you a sense of purpose, we know that these things are all determinants for health. So your socioeconomic status is one of these factors that determines your longevity, so or your resilience against disease, and especially resilience against stress. If I have somebody coming in with depression or anxiety who's recently been laid off, no amount of herbs, and the herbs can buffer sort of the stress response and relax the physical body so that somebody can look for work, but on the high priority list is helping them find a job again, because no matter how calm you're feeling physically or how much meditation you're doing, the fact that you don't have a way to pay your bills is a major stressor that won't go away until it's dealt with. And then another reason as well for doing this Wheel of Balance and for assessing sort of this holistic scope of what someone's life is the fact that these pillars, when they're strengthened, they provide the basis for the resilience against onslaughts of stress that come in. And so many of the people that come in and see me who are dealing with mental health issues, they're often struggling with an onslaught of stress that's hit them. So it could be, recently being laid off or separating from a partner in a romantic relationship, or it could be a great loss or trauma, or some things are surfacing. And so organizing these pillars of resilience are really effective for helping somebody deal with the stress and survive a new wave of stress. In naturopathic school, we learned about something called the stress wall. So it's sort of like a similar idea. So you're sort of building up these resilience factors, you're strengthening relationships, you're, dedicating time and energy into creating a career that you love, you're, arming yourself with hobbies and interests and purpose and passion. And therefore, when a stress wave hits you, you're able to withstand it, or you're able to recover more quickly. It doesn't throw you, it doesn't send you into chaos, physically, mentally, and emotionally. And sometimes these waves of stress, they test our stress wall. So, sometimes people are doing all right, and then, a really stressful time at work will show them, how well their stress wall has been built. So one thing you can do right now, having said all this, is do a wheel of balance with me. So all you need is a piece of paper, and you're just going to draw a circle on it. And you're going to divide the circle up into 8 sections. So, divide it in half, then in quarters, and then divide those quarters into half so that you have 8 sections on your wheel. And then you're going to label each pie slice with a title. So the first one is career. Okay. The second one, money. Because those are 2 separate things, right? Our career is not always tied to our money, and sometimes satisfaction with a career doesn't necessarily mean monetary satisfaction. So we separate those 2 things, although they can be linked. The third is health. The fourth is relationship, and this is romantic relationship or significant other. The fifth is family and friends. Okay, so supporting relationships. If you don't have a significant other, and you can also rate your satisfaction with the fact that you don't have a significant other. So are you single and feeling pretty good about it and pretty happy with your independence, or are you in the search of looking for a significant other, or are you upset? Are you recently single and upset about that? So this is sort of something where you can evaluate your satisfaction, because it is a piece of the puzzle and a piece of the wheel of balance in terms of resilience, because one of the biggest sources of stress is from romantic partnership or lack thereof. So the 6th pie slice is fun and hobbies. So this is something meaningful that you pursue outside of your work, whether you have one or more things. In that section is also sort of what you do to de-stress. So do you come home and flip on the TV, and is that a fulfilling and stress-reducing activity for you? It can be for a lot of people, but bringing awareness and consciousness to that is very helpful. The 7th is purpose and growth. So are you, are you every day sort of creating meaning in your life? Is there a clear meaning for your life, and are you fulfilling that meaning and purpose? Or do you feel like you're growing and learning every day? That's really important for a lot of people, and I often find that people mark that pretty low, especially when they're dealing with a mental health condition or a high amount of stress in their lives. And then the final thing is your physical environment. Physical environment is, are you happy with where you're living? So how your living arrangement is physically. Is it a comfortable space to live in? Do you like even how it's decorated? Do you like where you're living, what city you're in, what part of the city you're in? Are you exposed to nature on a regular basis? And if not, or if so, how important is that to you? So you're sort of evaluating what the state is of the physical surroundings that you're in. So a lot of people, right, that's sort of why we clean our houses, or why we care about where we're living is set up and works, because sometimes a cluttered environment does affect our internal mental state. So again, those categories are career, money, health, relationship, family and friends, fun and hobbies, purpose and growth, and physical environment. So when you're finished, you have a chart that looks like this, right? So it's got 8 different slices, and all of them are labeled. And on your own, I want you to fill in the pie according to your level of satisfaction. So if you're 100% satisfied in the area of your career, then you color in the entire pie slice. Okay? If you're only 50% satisfied, or a quarter, then you fill in that corresponding amount. And so the idea is, at the end of this exercise, you look at the balance in your life, and you see what areas are missing, or what areas you're not as satisfied in, what areas you might be overcompensating in. Are you really, really dedicated to maintaining a healthy lifestyle, but maybe sacrificing in the area of fun, and haven't really invested in making sure that you're creating fun activities? You might not want these categories. There might be another category that's more important to you. You might not, usually if you don't care about one of these categories that I mentioned, it means that you're probably satisfied with it, or you don't feel that it brings meaning to your life, and that's totally cool. But it's sort of an idea of what these are usually the areas where we build our lives around. And so what I do with people, because a lot of the time people that are dealing with a lot of stress or have you know, a mental and emotional issue that they're coming in with, depression, anxiety, you know, neurosis or anything like that. So a lot of the time they're missing a few areas, or their wheel of balance is skewed in one area, or it's just, you know, generally weak all over. And so what we have to do, I mean, that means these people are very susceptible and very vulnerable. And the first thing to do, you know, instead of, you know, working on diet or giving herbs and that kind of thing, is to strengthen some of those areas to create a more robust wheel of balance. And so what we do is, you know, if there's an area, if you've just filled out your wheel and you find there's an area that you're weak in, is creating one concrete thing you can do more or less immediately. So let's say within the week, that would strengthen, you know, and kind of balance out your wheel of balance. And so, you know, an area that is often lacking for most adults and busy people is fun, right? So, you know, if you've put 25% satisfaction in the area of fun, then coming up with a strategy, coming up with one thing you can do this week that would, you know, increase your satisfaction even a little bit, or start to build up that pie slice in the wheel of balance, is the task for the day. So it's thinking of something that you would do that you could classify as fun. You know, in the area of family and friends, how can I reach out to somebody, you know, or strengthen an existing friendship, or look for a way that I could, you know, put myself in a position to meet new people. So we start working on these areas. And, you know, so once you've developed resilience and strength, we're better able to weather these waves of stress that hit us, because they will inevitably. Some of us are blessed to not have as many stress waves, but eventually there's something that will affect us and will affect our state of balance and our mental health. So the stronger our pillars of resistance and the more robust our wheel of balance is, the better able we are to weather these storms and maintain our mental and emotional health and our physical health, because we know they're all connected. My name is Dr. Talia Marcheggiani. Thanks for listening. And if you want to contact me, my email is connect@taliand.com. I practice in Bloor West Village in Toronto.